Speak with clarity, 'cause there's too much noise around us. Or maybe it's just me.
Hello, everybody, and we're back with another podcast. My name is Parker Willis.
And I'm Daniel.
I'm Eva.
And it's me, Mr. M.
Mr. M, our guest speaker, is here with us.
Our favorite guest speaker.
Our favorite and one of our only, but that's okay. Today we have a wonderful story to tell. Not me, not
Daniel.
Eva, not Mr. M, but Daniel. The one that's working the machines at all times has a crazy story to tell us. Daniel, want to go off and start off with this, I don't even know what to call it. A horror? A romantic? A rom-com? I don't know.
All right. Well, it all started. How long ago was this? This was about a week
week
ago. A week ago.
About
I've
a
been trying to
week
tell
ago,
Mr. M
week
the story,
ago.
but he just I haven't seen him like all
I've
week.
been very busy this week.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, so it was Thursday night. I usually go take a runs on Thursday nights over there. It's here in the school, in this track. So on that night, I wanted to go pretty much do the same thing. But I saw the moon. I was like, oh, might as well take a picture of the moon. So I got my camera. I went to the school track. I went on top of the slides, and I was looking at taking pictures of the moon. And so I stayed there for around like 10 minutes. Nothing seemed like everything was pretty fine. I ran back home. I put down my camera, and that's when I went again for the run. So somebody was there while I was, or two people were there when I got there, but right when I got there, they left. So this was already like, so when I was taking the picture of the moon, it was twilight, so it was dark, but not dark enough, and the moon was pretty bright, so you can still see like everything.
Wait, is that what twilight means?
No, no, it's like dusk, twilight, and then dark, and then so on and so on.
So what's the proper, because I've never known what twilight means.
It's
Like literally, I thought it was just a vampire
it's
movie.
usually like 15 minutes before.
So is it like when the sun sets,
It's
but
like
there's still
it's
light?
like, you know when there's light, but it's dark light, and
Well,
it's
no.
like and
So
it's
you're
like
saying
purple.
the
It's
sun
like purple.
sets, the sun is below the horizon, but there's
Yeah,
still light. That's
there's
twilight?
still light.
Twilight.
Yeah, that's
Wow,
twilight.
I've never known that.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, so you could still see like the surrounding area because the moon was really bright.
So
I don't
you
know
go running pretty late then?
It was an irrigated
yes,
moon.
I usually do
Well,
because
it's hot.
it's really hot. I usually do
Wow.
it like
Well, we call that moon an irrigator's moon, just letting you know. So you can go out and irrigate, and it's
okay.
Because it gives you light
Yes.
still.
Okay. Yeah, so it was still pretty bright. Yeah, I relatively like nighttime, but I mean it's not like anything crazy.
So are you scared when you go running at this time?
No, I don't believe in any of this.
Okay.
I don't.
you start believing.
I'll put this out there. I've never seen anything until like that day.
Wow.
Like I don't believe in that or anything.
And the movie La Llorona just came out, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
I did
Okay,
some-
well, let's get to Daniel's story.
All right, so I think I was starting, I don't know if anybody knows the school track, but the school track is usually, it's really small, and there's a fence on the side of it where it's the straightaway, and on the other side is the school. And it's the old elementary and all the portable buildings on the side. So I had already done my run. It was like already, it was dark. It wasn't like dark, but you could still see, but it wasn't like no longer in the twilight. So when I had finished my run, I think I was sitting down, and I had texted Eva about the moon. I was like, hey, go outside, look at the moon. She's like, no, I'm cooking or baking or something. She's like, okay. So then I told Parker, and then, I don't know, after that, I was still texting both of them. And then I look up, and I kid you not, you know where the hallway is, where the old elementary
You went
is?
back to get your camera. Tell the story correctly. You went back to get your camera, right?
Yes.
And then you ran back with your camera to take pictures of the moon.
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right.
Yes, okay, yeah, I already did. All right.
Okay.
All right, so I was already back over there. I had my phone, I had my earphones, so like they were really loud, so I couldn't hear anything, and it was a dark time. So I couldn't if anybody was around or anything, I wouldn't have been able to hear because I was like really tired. So
That's why people get snatched.
anyway, I was really tired, and I just sat down right there, and I was looking over there at the old elementary because you know how me and Parker did our
Yes, your
our
scary story from there?
Yeah. So the hallway that's in between the old elementary and the middle school, that little where the
Yes.
old computer lab is,
Yes. Uh-huh.
on the back wall, I saw a shadow, like as if somebody were walking into the building, like going towards like the middle school,
To the middle school.
the newer one. And so I didn't pay much attention to it. I was like, I'm probably but the figure was really big, like like, I don't know, it was just really big. It was like, I think taller than Parker and about like your structure. No, it wasn't your structure, like really big. Like,
Wow.
as in like a big guy.
Uh-huh.
So I saw that and I was like, whatever. I don't believe in it. I thought I just saw a shadow. So, where the old elementary is, like in the middle, you know where the lounge used to be?
Yes.
Where the principal or whatever goes in there?
Yeah.
So in the front, like there's a light kind of that's there
Mm-hmm.
that's able to like have light go through the building. But then I saw a shadow just there, again, just standing there. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of creeped out. Like, I was like, should I really? I was like, I can just go check it out. Like, I mean, what else do I have doing? But I was really tired, and I was like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to check it out? But when me and Parker did that, I was like, and in my head I was still playing around. I was like trying to like give myself like just to block it out by me rationalizing it by thinking it was like a shadow or something.
Yeah.
And so then after that, I went back again towards like the beginning of the track. And when I went to the beginning of the track, over there on the bench on the front side, you know where everybody walks in on that side of the gate?
Mm-hmm.
On that tree, I saw that figure, but now I actually saw something. Like, it's a person. I saw a person. I'm pretty sure I saw something. Like, it was something, and it wrapped around the tree, and they went into the fence. Like, they didn't, I don't know
Through
if
the gate.
They just went through
Like-
the gate.
through the gate.
But the gate was obviously locked. So it's more like he saw a blur.
figure just go
figure,
through.
Not necessarily go
Like,
through.
but it was that same, like, people were telling me, like, if, like, it was probably a shadow or something. I was like, why would a shadow be 6 feet and, like, relatively,
Have a figure.
like a figure? Like,
Yeah.
no, I saw something. Like, I even caught it on video, and that's when I sent it to Eva. But I like,
He didn't save it.
I didn't save it because have you ever like I was actually pretty scared that I had got something. So I
Yeah.
thought it was like I was like,
Like
oh
he
no.
saw
like,
it in the video, so he was actually
Because at
freaked out.
first
So
I
I
played the
deleted
video and
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, like whatever. And then I was like, wait a minute. And like it was enough time for me to replay it because it was on Snapchat. So like I replayed it again and I was like, wait, that does look like something. But I don't know. Like I was like, well, it's a video, and I'm like, nah. And then, like I don't know.
But the
so like
thing
I didn't make it a
is-
big thing when I told like Evan Parker because I didn't want to make it a big thing. But like in my head, I was like, I actually like it's something.
You saw something.
So I was telling my brother and like Parker is telling me that
I'd have my own
His
hypothesis.
theory.
So basically, what I think is, so Daniel, I think he saw it 3 times. The suspicious thing. I think the first 2 times were just shadows, but like it was in his head. But then he actually saw someone the 3rd time when they were at the fence because people
Someone
sometimes
or something.
people sometimes go up to the fence and jump the fence or whatever because it's pretty easy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So someone could easily have done that while Daniel was running and he saw it and then he kind of just went behind the portable building because it's all dark right there. It's completely pitch black. You would not be able to see. So if he was there, Daniel saw, but he saw like darkness, so he could have just jumped the fence real quick and then he saw him again, kind of like he went through the fence. That's what I think. But the other 2 had to be.
So you
shadows.
think there was an actual person
Yes.
who that he
which
saw
is,
the 3rd
which
time?
is even scary. Like
Dude, I just thought of something else right now.
So what my brother thinks is I actually saw somebody, and they were there the whole night. Maybe like
While you
around,
were
like
running?
looking at or like
I don't
around
think
me.
you had to do with anything they were doing. Though.
So you think it was an actual person, not a ghost type
I
thing?
think it was a person. Everybody's telling me that it's a ghost. Like, because
I don't
like,
know.
how would somebody? So right after in the morning when I wanted to go tell you that Friday morning, I was like, where's Mr. M? And you weren't there that
Yeah.
day. So I went to go check if the building was locked, and sure enough, it was
Yeah,
locked.
the
And I was like,
doors
so
are
nobody could have gone
But the
in.
video that you sent me looked like they were in.
Okay,
Inside.
dude. Hey, check
No,
this out.
they were outside. I caught. You know when I said that I caught them like around the corner. I actually got that on video, but before they went through the gate. So I just caught the moment where they were walking and they warped around the tree, and like when they got to the fence, that's when I stopped it because I was like, oh my god.
You know, one time, because Jared and I go out and take pictures like all the time, right? And like we went out. I want to say this wasn't recent. This was probably like November or something like that. But we went out and it's very hard to take pictures here because like there's no background, right? So we were going and we were at like the little park right here, and we were out on the track and we were like taking pictures because it was kind of the sun was setting. And then as it got darker, there's kind of like those lights like on that little pavilion thing. So we were like trying to take pictures of that. And then like someone starts walking like from the back, like the middle of nowhere. And like I was parked right there. Luckily we drove, and then they started walking like faster, like to the pavilion, and they were almost there. So Jared and I like booked it. Like we ran to my car, and like we got in the car, like I left the door, I'm like, we're getting out of here. Like,
Wait,
no.
the pavilion that's out of the out of the premise.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
On the outside.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, and then also theory number 3. What if it's a squatter? Do you know what those are?
No.
Yeah.
Like they live
Oh,
under your basement or your
yes,
attic
I've
without you
heard.
knowing the whole time.
I've heard.
So I was like in my head, I was like, what if they're inside that hole me and Parker found? We even found like bottles in there one time.
Those are old though.
Yeah, they
But,
were.
hey,
But,
I don't think anyone's squatting inside
Theory
the old
4.
elementary.
Theory 4. There's a better theory I just thought of right now. Okay, you thought they were all around the same kind of size. If
Yes,
this was
okay.
one person.
yeah, but like, why would they be going into the building, the new one? Then I saw the shadow inside.
This is the thing. Multiple people. Check this out.
That's
They're
scary.
around
God.
it.
No,
So
I don't think it's
no,
multiple
no.
people.
Time
Okay,
out.
so
No,
give
no,
me
no,
the
no,
pencil.
no, no,
Give
no.
me the
Listen. Multiple people. What you said? One was inside. You saw a shadow inside. So one's inside. One's around the corner outside, trying to
That
find
is
their way in.
terrifying.
And check this out. Someone just jumped the fence so they can get in with their group. Imagine that.
But the building's locked. So
Yeah,
what
why-
are they
how would they
doing?
go-
What are they doing
What
What
if
are
it
you
was
looking for inside of there?
what if?
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
this is
What are you gonna steal? A textbook?
I know there's
Yeah, there's
nothing
really
in there.
nothing.
Like, there's
You don't
nothing
know,
in
like
there.
some
Okay,
TV
so
from, like,
this
the
is how it
80s.
is. So they were walking. This is the hallway. This is them there, and then they. So why would they be going like that? And so for some reason they went over there. And they came back, like I saw that.
Multiple people.
And then they would go over there.
No, and if it's an actual person, when you walk into that middle school, in order to exit, because it's all locked, you have to exit. You would have had to have seen that person walk back out of that hall and behind the old elementary.
But that's the
To
thing.
get to the
I
front.
didn't. Once I saw it the first time, I didn't pay attention to it because I was
you
resting.
think maybe they could have done that?
Yeah, I looked back and I was like, I was really tired still, so I was still like doing my stuff. But when I finally saw him that last time, that when I was like completely done with like my run, and I was like really really tired, so I couldn't do anything. I wasn't gonna run because I literally just ran like a whole bunch. So I just saw it, and there's nothing I can do but just capture it.
Well, there could be
Daniel's
different stories
crazy.
because it could be that we play it in our heads. It could be true. When I first started teaching here, people said that there was a teacher who would stay late and do her work, and she would hear voices telling her to get out when she would stay late doing her work. She
Something
was
scary happened to me this
she was the
morning.
last one. She would always be the last one, and she would literally hear the voice in her classroom telling her to get out. So she would just grab her stuff and go.
Oh yeah.
And she would, and so there are stories based off of that. When I was a kid, and I don't know if it was me just in my head, but when I would lay down, I used to see a shadow at the head of my bed on my feet, and
I swear I've had that before.
and it was just a shadow, and I would literally just cover my head and just
Yes.
go to
Yeah.
sleep.
Oh my
because
God.
I don't want to
Oh my
look.
God.
But you never know. I don't know if it was just in my head.
I nearly killed myself one time. No.
That's quite
But
the
in the
opening.
most I thought I saw this ghostly figure. I can literally draw it out if I had to. It was like this vampire-ish thing, red eyes, black cape thing. And
Oh, I've heard about this story. We were younger,
Yes.
and he told me about it. But like,
it was
that's crazy that I still remember this story.
Because this is when you were talking about your not paradoxia, your
Sleep paralysis.
sleep paralysis. This is when you talk about your sleep paralysis. I'm like, did I have that one time? But no, I think this was just in my head. I saw this figure in the corner of my room. This is when we had bunk beds. Me and Garrett were in bunk beds. I had to be like 6 years old. I saw this figure. I turn around, put the pillow on top of my head, the covers on my head, and I stay there for 30 minutes
Yes.
plus. And I was sweating. I was
Yes.
about to pass out. I thought I was going to die. So I was like, it's time. So I just take the pillow off and I turn around, gone. Like nothing
Yeah.
was there. And I'm like,
Well, have you seen those videos on Facebook? I'm constantly watching them at night, and it scares me galore. It's literally people that capture. People have video cameras in their rooms. I don't know why, but they're recording, and then like all of a sudden, there's one where this man is asleep, and there's literally a figure in his window. And you can see this thing, and then it literally goes into his room and moves things in his room. And then he wakes up and he freaks out because everything's moved in his room. So I don't know.
the thing is, it's very hard to get the credibility with videos.
Exactly.
It is, it's really
Those are
hard.
the things
That-
we have to research.
I can't
I know,
believe
I
I
know.
got it on video, but I was
God, you should have saved it.
I was so scared I deleted it
I
because
cannot
you know
believe it.
Yeah,
I
true.
felt like when you see something and you
Yes.
actually get it. Like I wasn't thinking
Well-
like in the moment, so I was just like, I can't see this. Like I
Yeah,
can't believe I
well,
just saw it. I
And it's
deleted it.
good that you deleted it, because people back then, well, when I was growing up, they used to say, like, when you start seeing those things, you open that portal for
Yeah.
those things to come into you or closer to you. And basically that's what people say. Like, that's
Thank
how
you,
people...
Daniel, for sending that to me.
That's how
Jeez.
people eventually get possessed, because they're opening these portals or something. That's why I will never bring a Ouija board into my house. And then I tell my wife when I go and watch those movies, like, I'm going to take like rosaries and holy water with me, because if I'm watching it, I feel like, oh my God, I'm opening this portal and something's going to happen to me.
But that's the thing. Like I don't believe in that, so I'm like trying to rationalize it as like I saw something, which to me is way scarier than seeing a ghost. Like, what is a ghost gonna do to me? Like possess me? Like
Yeah, exactly.
But like, what if I actually saw somebody and like
Yeah,
they were
I
like,
think it's scarier.
because like I went in the morning when it was still daylight. So if I was there, anybody could have seen me that when I was there, because I was like just taking a picture of the moon, and it was pretty like it was the daylight still out. So somebody saw me, and then when nighttime comes, they were just stalking me the whole night.
Let me tell y'all what happened to me this morning, because like I've been thinking about it, and it just my thoughts like get worse as I think about it more. So in the morning, we come in kind of late, and I always go shower at the old gym because it just takes forever. Like if I wait for the girls to go in the new gym, and I'm usually the only one that goes to go shower in the old gym. And like when I first moved here, like y'all all told me stories about how like it used to be haunted, and how like lights
it
would,
is.
or it is, and like
I'm
lights
just
would
kidding.
turn
I don't
on, and
believe
like
in that.
lockers would slam and stuff like that. But I've never really had that experience, at least not in the old gym. And so I always go in there and I'm alone. And honestly, when I'm in there alone, like I'll talk to myself so that I don't freak myself out, right? Especially like today, it was like kind of dim in there. So I was in the shower and I was like kind of humming. And when someone else comes in and turns on the shower, you can hear it from the shower that I'm in. Like it starts like buzzing, and like you hear water starting, right? And so I'm in there and I'm kind of like humming to myself, and then like I hear like a shower come on, and I'm like, okay, that's weird, because usually if one of the girls would come in, like they'd say that they were in there, you know, right? They just wouldn't walk in there. And I'm like, okay, well, some of them asked me if I was coming in here before, so maybe they came too. And then I'm like, no, like they would have said something, and I
You would have heard him walk in.
I would have, yeah, you would have heard the door open. So I was like, I'm not going to say hey, because, like, I don't know. And so, like, I'm just taking a shower, and, like, I'm kind of freaking myself out more. And then I'm like, do I get out? Like, do I not get out? I'm like, you know what? Like, just, you're fine. So I finish the shower, and then, like, I turn my water off, and then it sounds like the water turns off immediately after. And I was like, okay. And I get out, nobody there. Like, there was nothing. Like, absolutely anything. Like, all the noises stopped, everything. And then just the rest of the time, I was, like, playing music on my phone because I was like, like, I can't do it.
Well,
like,
the only story
silence
that
in
I
there.
know about that one is Coach Wolf was the one that something happened to him when he was in the old gym. But this is before they renovated it. And like, were you in there like the coach's office? Like it's really old and really like nasty. So this was after a basketball game. I think it was after a playoff game, and they had just gotten back. And usually the guys will like after the game, some of them will shower. I don't know, like they'll just shower. And so Coach Wolf was in his office, and he heard the shower thing like turn on all by itself, like full blast. And the showers over there are like bad. Like the stream is just like a jet. It's not like a shower head. It's just bad. So he heard it, and then he went outside to go check it out. He's like, one of these kids are playing around with me. And I think it was whose class was it? Adrian's or something like that. They would always do like stupid things or things like that. So he's like, one of these kids are still around here. Like they still haven't gone home. It's like, why are they gonna shower? Like told them to just go home. It's really late. And so he went back over there in his coach's office, and he heard it again turn on, and he's just like, nope. Like even Coach Wolf was like, nope. He like turned it off, he
Let's
turned
go.
it back off, and then he left.
See, I'm telling you, like,
That's the only one I've heard,
it
but
was scary,
that
like-
one was weird.
and I hate going in there alone, but it's like whatever, like I need a shower, and sometimes it's okay, and other times like I can feel something, and I'm like whatever. Or one time I showered in there, and only the front half of the lights would come on, like because you have to turn the key or whatever, and like the key was in the on position, only the front half. Like the next day, like the lights were on, everything was okay, but like I was in there, and I'm like I need to take a shower, but it's like I don't know.
Well, the ones they say that can sense these more are like your younger kids, the innocent ones. And just recently, my daughter has been not wanting to go to, like, I'll send her to her room and be like, go get this, and she'll go and turn on the lights. Just recently, these past 2 weeks, she has not wanted to go anywhere in my house without anyone. So she'll just say like, well, I want to, she says she'll cook for me in her little kitchen set. So she'll be like, I'm gonna cook for you. Come to my room. And I'll be like, okay, we'll go. I'll be there right now. And she's like, no, I want you. So like, she will not go anywhere
Without someone else.
without someone. Like, I'm like,
it's a
oh
little
my
bit
God.
freaky.
That
And I
is.
hate it with kids too
Yeah.
because kids just don't know.
And they say like these things, and it's like, no.
So it could be true. I never know.
So I'm thinking me and Parker need to finish what we started.
And y'all never reviewed the tape fully, so y'all could have
I
caught
know, we got
something.
like 18 hours of
Yeah.
night
18 hours
footage.
of
and y'all
footage.
didn't even review
Oh my
it.
god, dude! If I see like
I
the
see.
figure,
Right? We just missed
Imagine
that one frame.
Everyone, we've all been sitting on it this entire time.
Yeah, we need to have
So-
like a recap. Like we go dun 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 dun, and we show everything we did before, kind of like a little. I don't know.
Like
Like,
a
like a
little-
remix, kind of.
Yeah.
And then we go, but we're back.
we're back for.
Like a sequel.
Yeah, a
So-
sequel, part 2.
I
And we
really
just,
don't think there's nothing haunted there. I just think it's all
Have
in
you
our
ever
imagination.
seen that little opening that we told you about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that freaky?
Yeah.
Come
No,
on.
have you ever gone in there like alone to get something? 'Cause
I
it's-
have,
it-
and I don't like going in
it.
there.
I don't like it. Or like I'll walk in, and I have to act like real like bad when I go in there, because otherwise like I walk in there and I'm like,
Let me put my tough
dude, it's the
woman.
weirdest thing because we used to have class in there, and then we used to go to the restroom like all the time. It was the most normal thing. It was, and literally the classroom that we were in that is that
The drama
what's it called,
room?
the drama
Yeah.
room. That was Mr. Morrow's room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Mr. Morrow's room, and we used to have second grade class in there.
Yeah.
And I remember literally everything.
I think it's just in our heads, to be honest. But
it might be.
I don't
It
know.
might be,
I
but,
just
like,
wouldn't like to be in one of those situations where I'm there
I
at
can't
night.
Like I've never seen anything, and so like seeing that was just
Even leaving my office
I
when
can't do that.
everybody's gone, like, and it's 6, 7 o'clock, or like at my board meetings, when I forget to lock up the building and I have to walk through the building to lock it up, and then I go to my car parked in the front. It's very dark. It's scary,
It is
and I
scary.
hate to turn around and look through the door because I'm scared I'm just gonna see someone there standing.
like
Yeah, and like you locked me in here, but if I did, I'll leave them there because I won't go open the door.
I would run. If
Yeah,
I saw
me
a
too.
kid like,
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I would too.
And
But
it's just, I don't know, something, because I've been to places where, like, it genuinely is scary, and that is the same feeling that I get, like, when I'm over there and, like, I'm alone, and, like, in certain, like, moments,
I
like,
would
it's
just
the
wouldn't go
same
alone.
feeling.
do you think it could be the tradition of the stories that have been told to us as we grow up? Because you always hear when I grew up, the
I don't believe in
Llorona and
them.
all these.
I don't believe in them.
The
Yeah,
cuckoo
I
raising.
don't really, like, I never...
Not that
I
you
wasn't
believe in them, but
scared
the
of
story
them.
that they tell you over and over. So it's kind of in your head without you even thinking.
I
Maybe,
mean,
but when I see or when I feel that, that's not what I'm thinking that it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more like a violent. It's not like, because you ever go somewhere and like it feels like there's something there, but it doesn't feel bad. It's
Yeah.
like there might be like some kind of spirit or like energy here, but maybe it's not bad. But like over there, like it does feel bad. Like it's not. It's like it's menacing.
So has anyone seen La Llorona, the movie?
no.
no.
Oh, darn.
Hey, did
So
you?
no, I haven't. I want to go see it, but
it's
I
not-
heard it
I
wasn't
heard it's
good.
not good. I heard
It's
it's
not
like,
good?
Not good
No.
at all.
I heard it's like
Dude,
Dude,
super.
the actors and
like,
actresses
American.
aren't even Mexican.
Yeah.
They're not Mexican.
I
They
heard
just know
it's super
Spanish.
American. Like it's no.
Well, actually, I heard it was good.
You heard it was
Because
good.
my
I heard-
sister-
so what
saw
is
it.
what is your interpretation, or what story have you heard of the Llorona?
I've heard different ones.
I've
I've
heard
heard
different
like
ones, too.
3 different ones.
So-
They're all relatively the same, but
basically
mean-
that she lost her children.
and that
In
she
a lake
and then
or something.
She
Yeah,
was,
that's what I've
she
heard
was
the lake
met-
one, and I've heard that someone took her children from her, and then she's looking for her children.
And she's
so-
been looking for them ever
yeah.
since.
The only
and-
ones the one that I still remember is like her husband was in like an alcoholic and he was really
I never heard
abusive
that one.
and this and that, and he left her by herself when he came to the Americas or like America to like start a new life and didn't contact her or anything. So she thought that she was alone, and so she took her own life, or she took her children's life, and then she took her own life.
That's what I heard too.
So then when she was met in heaven, she was told by God to go down to earth and look for her children too. She found them, and then she would be accepted.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
So
never
like
heard
she's
that.
suffering.
Yeah,
so that's
So
her,
she's
that's her
suffering, looking for
punishment,
her kids
like
crying.
eternal.
And I also heard that if you hear her cry and you respond, then like you're done. But,
Well,
like if you hear her
what do you
cry,
mean respond? Like, what would you respond to a
I
crying
don't
lady
know.
in
Or
the
like
forest?
if you like pay attention to it. But like if you hear her cry and like you keep like just going on, like continuing about your day, that like you can make it through.
No.
But that if you respond, like if you react,
Like, ma'am, you okay? Oh, you shouldn't have said that.
You see,
Just
if I
keep
were to
walking.
hear that, if I were to hear that, I'd be like, oh, somebody's like in trouble. Like I should go help
How do
them.
you
like,
know?
no.
Like you,
No.
you think you
In
would,
the woods?
If someone's in trouble, call someone. Call 911. Don't go look for yourself. Like that's I feel like I don't know.
What do you mean?
Because
Like, don't
it's
go look
because
for
I
yourself?
remember when I was growing up and I heard there was a lot of stories
Well,
on the
you put
news
yourself in danger.
where there were people that were baiting women
Yeah.
by like or like even like people that were trying to do human trafficking and stuff like that, where they
Yeah.
would say like, oh, look, my car fell into the canal, like, look, I'm all alone here, like, don't stop for them. Call
No,
the police.
I'm not saying,
or
like,
something
I would-
like that.
like, I
but
would-
they've done that thing where they've put like babies crying, like that sound outside of like women who are alone at night, like outside their windows, and they go outside and then they kill them. And
no,
like,
you see, I haven't heard like me personally. I wouldn't go help them, but like I'm saying, I would rationalize into saying like thinking, oh, okay, somebody's in
Right.
distress or in help. I wouldn't go help them because what if it's like not that, but like my way of thinking would be like, okay,
I know, but
so
like I
somebody
wonder if that like
is-
okay, if that
needs help.
aspect of the story is true, then like how harshly do you need to react before she's like, all right, like I got you. like, I got you.
After like the 5th time, like,
I know
you're
you'd be
like,
like, she's like, I got you. Ah.
got you now.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have said it 5th time. But I think it's just stories that have been made up, and that's basically what it is. I don't even think if it's true.
You know what scared me
Because
so
there's
bad
also,
as a kid? The Bloody Mary one.
I've
yeah.
heard that before.
That one was like the worst one.
See,
I
but
think.
they also say the owls, that if you see an owl
Chusa.
and the lechusas, that they're
I've never heard
actually
that.
witches.
The-
That's what I hear. And then, like, if you see a white one, it's a good
Yeah.
witch. If
No.
you see a black one, but if they're whistling at you and you whistle back at them, then they'll
That's
turn into
what,
a witch and attack
exactly
you.
what I said, because we were in a barn one time and we saw a lechusa and it was a white lechusa. And then my dad's like, "Oh, it's a good one. Don't worry." I'm like, "What do you mean it's a good one?"
One time,
Yeah.
my mom almost hit like, well, it's because we were just driving back and like on the road to Port, like there's that final turn as you're going into Port and like it slows down, and this huge white owl just like swoops down in front of the car and like
Yeah.
it almost hit us, and I was like, whoa. And I never heard that. And now it makes me feel.
Oh,
weird
you know what's
about it.
another? Okay, but this one, it was actually somebody. We ended up finding out that it was somebody. But this one's scary, but not really scary.
But it's true.
But it's true. But I hate going down. But I have to because I work over there. I have to go like back from Port like every night, coming down like 10 o'clock, and there's always animals and
I
stuff.
hate that. Like
It's-
after games and stuff. Oh god.
and especially like I go there every day or like, but after a while, like I go really slow. I just hate it because there's a whole bunch of animals and a whole bunch of stuff, and especially in the wintertime. But we were coming back, and I mean, both me and my brother were working, so we both like we didn't each take like usually if he's working, he'll take the car. Like if I'm working, I'll take it. But we were both working, so he didn't want to come back because he was really tired. I think he was really busy. So, do you know where the which ranch is it? El Saus.
Mhm.
So on the way back, we were hitting that curve, and I told Martin that I saw a figure on the fence looking at me. I didn't tell him a figure. I was like, I saw somebody looking at me. It's a person, like a lady, and he's like, nah, you're like probably like hearing stuff or whatever.
Seeing stuff.
Yeah, I was like, nah, dude, I'm pretty sure I saw something, and because he was like half asleep, and then I woke him up. I was like, hey, there's somebody or something, and he's like, whatever. And then come to find out later on that there was like they had caught like a van of like immigrants that were coming back, like later that night.
Right there.
Yeah, and
Wow.
so I saw one of them looking at the fence, looking at me.
Oh.
So I was like,
People are scarier, I think, than anything.
yeah.
You know, I hate that. One time I was coming back from Parker's house at like, it was late and it was in October. And then I took Jared home. And so I take him home, I drop him off, everything's cool. But it's when they had left like the weeds to grow up really, really high on 186.
Oh, I
like they were
know.
taller
It
than
gets
me.
really bad.
And it was really scary. Like around that time I had also hit some hogs and it was really foggy. So like I couldn't have my lights on all the way because I wouldn't be able to see in front of me. So it was really foggy. I always see at least one other person on the road. That entire night there was no one else that passed me or was behind me. And like it was super foggy. The
I
grass
love it
was
when that
super
happens.
tall. No, I hate
I love it when there's an open road.
Oh no, I like when there's an open road, but not when it's at night. And I felt like I was driving forever. Like I started like speeding at one point because I was like, I'm not getting home. Like I feel like I'm not driving at all. So I was driving and I felt like I was going out. I felt like it took me like an hour to get home. because I kept going and I kept going, and like the scenery did not change at all. I don't even remember passing the bridge, because usually like you get to the bridge and you're like, okay, there's like 5 miles left, like I'll be home in 5 minutes. And so, because my home's right like there in the beginning of Port, and I don't even remember passing the bridge that night. It was crazy.
So yeah, but yeah, that's another, yeah, that's pretty. I hate that road, or I hate just coming back from there. But ever since then, we'll pass by and I'll look again, because they put a light there now. There wasn't a light.
Yeah,
like,
I remember that really bright light.
Yes,
and
I
it
hate
looks
it.
like a car when you're too far away.
Yes, it does. And so it was right, but so you know where the light is.
Yeah.
So right before that, like where the opening is to go inside the ranch. So on the side of it, that's where I saw it.
That's the trip. That's
Scary?
pretty
Yeah.
scary.
I think there's just different stories, and there's just things that will trip us out and scare us, and then there's different.
Yeah.
But there's also, like, I don't know, there's just different things. We have our senior trip coming up, and, well, maybe we can say more stories and
Hopefully.
around a little campfire. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but that's I can't believe I saw it here at school.
That's
I never
weird.
seen anything, but yeah, I was waiting to tell you.
It's just weird. I think different things happen. When I was in middle school, I literally was asleep on my mom's bed, and I had this dream, and it was a dream, I think, literally where I was in a car, but it was just the shell of the car, and I was sitting in the passenger seat, and on the driver's seat, I felt a figure that was there, and I couldn't turn my head to see who it was. And basically, it like spiritually told me, like I could feel it telling me things, but through spirit, I couldn't talk to this figure. And it basically told me, this is everything that I've put on this earth for you. So I was going down this hill, and I was able to see everything on the side of this road. And basically I came back, I came to the top of a hill, and it was about to fall into a pitch black hole. And then I just heard someone at the beginning of the road call my name, and I just made sure to say, I'm not ready. And then as soon as I said those words, the car literally just went backwards, and I started at the beginning, and I literally woke up from that dream.
That's ridiculous.
But it was weird. Like I had no clue, but I was able to see everything. And then I couldn't turn my face. I couldn't see I saw the figure, and it resembled a certain person, but I couldn't turn my head. And I don't know. Then people started I remember coming and telling a sub one day, and I want to say it was Mrs.
Danguma.
Olivares back then. And she literally said that those people have had those dreams. And she says it was a near-death experience. That's because she said she had one of those. And I want to say it was Miss Olivares who told me that. And when she told me this, I'm like, so like I freak out. But I don't know. Things happen to certain people at certain points in their lives, and it maybe this shadow figure appeared for you for a certain reason, and you
I
saw
feel
it.
like, and there's some people that never have these experiences, and like they're like laugh at you when you tell them, and I feel like this happens to me all the time. Like there's always something like that's happened. Like I always feel like there's like something, and some people are like, oh no, that's never happened to me. And it's like you're either not paying
Yeah,
attention
that's
or you're like
never
the luckiest
happened.
person
Like that had
ever.
never happened to me until I saw that. Like I don't believe in that. And everything that I've seen until now, I'm able to rationalize. Maybe it could have actually been something, but I've been able to rationalize it into something that I can think of that's actually the way it was.
Well, that was a good segment on scary stuff. I think we
That
need to
was
continue these
scary.
podcasts.
I do.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Missing Jared today.
He'll
He's
be
out.
back.
So I think that's a wrap.
He'll be
Until
back.
next time.
We will be back.
Bye bye guys. Thanks for
Thank you
listening.
guys for joining us for today. We enjoy it, and we will be back. Bye bye.
Cause there's too much noise around us.